Now let's talk about taxis and deregulation in the taxi market, which is being discussed at the moment in government. Cabbies in Brighton fear that these government proposals to change taxi regulations could compromise passenger safety. It means that drivers from outside the city would be allowed to operate there. Taxi drivers, along with the local MP Mike Weatherly, have met the Transport Minister Baroness Kramer to raise their concerns. John Smith's a taxi driver in the city and a GMB union rep. Hello, John.
Hello, Neil. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So these changing regulations basically trying to open up competition in the taxi business, isn't it?
Well, if only it was, Neil. I wouldn't be standing here this morning getting up on the day of my best friend's funeral to talk about it. It's far more serious and, got far bigger implications than that. On the brief bit about cabs from outside coming in, I mean, obviously competition's fine, and we welcome it, but it's standards, and Brighton taxis have got, the highest standards in the country, along with CRV checks and the standard of the vehicle. And I'm sure you're going to get quite a few people saying about the overcharging and all the other bits and pieces, but it's the issues on the 3 clauses on the deregulation bill that have been hastily put in go far, far deeper. When you've got somebody like the Susie Lampard Trust, who are coming out very, very hard on our side over this, do you think they'd be bothered about a bit of competition in Brighton? Rachel Griffin, who's their main person, she was on Sky News describing it as a rapist charter.
The particular clauses that Susie Lamplugh are worried about is that anyone can drive a licensed vehicle when it's not being used for work purposes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And licensing authorities will renew licences less frequently than at present, and that taxi and minicab firms can subcontract to other firms. Now, are those your worries too, then? The wrong sort of people will be driving taxis?
The biggest worry, and they're trying to use London as a shining example because these conditions have been in London for quite some time, and this is the same city that between May and November last year had, I think it was 91 serious sexual assaults against women by bogus taxi drivers. At the moment, the rest of the country, including Brighton, if somebody's behind the wheel of a private hire vehicle or a taxi and they haven't actually got a licence to drive that taxi, they can be arrested immediately. What the government are trying to say here is that if they get caught with somebody in the car, they'd have to prove the person wasn't paying. I mean, this is after the event. It is just frightening, and I don't think you'd have the 2 local Tory MPs, Mike Weatherly and Simon Kirby, supporting us, nor would Caroline Lucas if it was just about a bit of competition, which is how, up until now, your reports have been going out.
Right, OK. We understand your safety concerns then, John. Obviously, it's still in its sort of early reading days going through the Commons at the moment. I think it's just through its second reading, its committee stage at the moment. John, thanks very much indeed. We'll follow it, and we've got more on this story in the next half hour too.